Can you tell us about those two quarterbacks?
Excuse me?
Can you tell us a little bit about those two quarterbacks that are competing?
The guys, they've elevated each other. I've enjoyed watching the competition probably as much as I've ever enjoyed any competition. What's been really neat is to watch them elevate each other, and it's a fierce competition. It's created kind of that atmosphere on our whole team, so it's been a cool deal. Yes, sir.
The new rule change obviously impacted you. You guys started practice already. What do you think overall of the elimination of 2 days?
Well, I just rather, you probably listen to me talk about hardcore toughness and discipline and all that stuff. You probably know how I feel about that. But on the same hand, whatever the rules are, I respect the rules, and we're going to go by the rules. And also, too, I do think that they made them for the right reason because of the well-being of our student athletes. In saying that, we also we're reporting a week and a half early. So you're taking a week and a half. Usually they're home with their families, so that's different. Obviously took a week and a half out of our preparation. So, could there have been a better solution? I don't know, probably, especially planning, so you didn't have, the things but that's kind of how things come down. But don't really, worry about things I can't control. But one thing I do believe is that I love this game. This game's such an important game. And it's also a physical game. It's a contact sport. And you need to be able to teach it to play it safely. And so that's one of the things that's important. We've taken the head completely out of tackling and to teach that rugby style tackling. It takes time to do that. And I even watched from the NFL to college, just tackling and all the fundamental. It's really, you can tell the impact, and you just need to have time to teach those things. And I think we can do it. I think it's a good thing that they're looking at the things, the well-being of our players. I'm always for that. That's first and foremost with our guys. But a lot of the practices we put in place, we really didn't have a full-blown 2-a-day. It was the afternoon was more of a passing type deal, and so we'll see how it works. But you got recruiting going all the way to end of June next year on official visits, and then if you report the last week of July, man, that's a pretty short window for players and for coaches to have breaks. So I hope they'll look at that too.
Some of your players said that they did more conditioning work outside this year as opposed to in the Dickey Dome. Was that part of the strategy that you guys had, or was that on them doing that on their own? A lot of it just, anytime we have a heat warning or whatever, we're going inside. Probably had a lot to do with the weather pattern. And was things harder by design? Yeah, they were. I think they took that upon themselves as well. But we wanted to return to our blue collar mentality, just like what we do on offense and defense. We want the core values of what we believe. We want to get reestablished, and that all starts with investment, and it starts with work ethic. But anytime you know how it is. If it gets really hot, we're going to be smart and go inside. But we'll spend. I think that was some by design, and some we had some mild temperatures.
You talk about the high degree of investment happening even before the facility was built. Now that the facility is built, do you see that degree of investment even kicking up a few more notches?
I don't think you benefit by showing kids a picture. And two, you got to understand, our building was built for teaching and development and training. And I think it's the best facility. I've looked all over the country, and there's not one that I believe that is better than our facility for teaching and training and innovation as far as the technology piece of it. And so that, as we have that, now you'll start seeing the benefits, and I do think it's going to have a dramatic benefit. You can watch how it'll impact recruiting just by watching our existing players walk into the building, and how it just speaks volumes about the commitment that you have to be successful, and the fact that our donors and the support it shows great support. That we have great support and a championship caliber support. So I think moving forward, it'll pay its dividends.
Ideally, Todd, would you like to redshirt Dylan Sterling Cole, given that he played last year?
Yeah, if he's not, obviously playing, then that's something that I think that we'd be smart to do.
How much did it gnaw at you just not being able to run the ball or have that physicality in that way offensively the last couple of years?
Really, we look backward in January, and there's a lot more than that. Some of the most miserable things I've ever experienced, I experienced last year. So I've moved on from that, and but on the same hand, I'm 100% accountable for everything. So we've moved forward, and I think we're assured a different place than we were last year.
Last year you toyed with the idea of playing Chase Lucas. Do you feel like he's ready this year to play?
I think Coach feels like he's developing. I think he's a guy that's gotten really matured. He's got to continue to improve. But yeah, he's a guy that's competing to play.
What about the speed that you have on this team on offense in particular? Is that a different dynamic than you've been?
I think from a personnel standpoint, we're top to bottom skill-wise. You look at our receivers and our running back core, as good as we've been, speed-wise, talent-wise, quarterback position, receiver position, running back position. I like the veterans up front. We got a lot of guys with a lot of experience up front. There's a lot of competition, we eliminate the negatives, take care of the football, and we can do some good things there.
Kalen Ballard is one of the most unique talents coming back in the conference this year with that size and speed. How best can you utilize it?
Well, we spent a lot of time, in researching that, and one of the things we talked to Kalen about is being a guy who play 80 plays a game, and not him and DeMario will play together a lot. I think you got to put your best personnel on the field. So both those guys have great hands, and one of the things with Kalen, he is really a dynamic receiver. He can really do some things out of the backfield, and really even as a slot receiver. And so DeMario, as well as Nick Ralston, we think Nick has positioned himself where he's. We got three guys that are really solid. Then you got Eno Benjamin coming in, and Traylon Smith is looking very good. And we think Justin Brumhall. Justin's a guy that is kind of this. You can sleep on. The guy's got a lot of ability, and so we're very deep and diverse in our talents at running back. But we spend a lot of time researching how we can get Kalen the football in different ways, and really utilizing the talent that we have at those two positions. So we'll play a lot, I think, with two backs on the field.
Has JoJo, he was a second-team All-Conference player last year. You brought him here. Is he poised to continue to blossom, or what do you? I
think so. I think you can see that by the respect of his players electing him captain, and I think that's a big deal. And he's, and being a leader, that's what I tell him. It's not about giving a speech.
We've got a 2-minute warning for Arizona State.
Your actions.
2 minutes
so
remaining
he's
with
really
Arizona
maturing, and just one of the finest kids I've ever coached. But he's not reached his potential. He's got a lot more room to grow, and I think he's doing that. So.
What makes him one of the finest kids you've ever coached?
He's just so explosive. He's powerful. He's a very instinctive player, and he's a guy who can play every snap. He's a guy that very seldom you have to rotate somebody else in there. And so he's a guy that's extremely durable, probably one of the hardest practicers I've ever been around. And so he's pretty talented. He's just really gifted with the explosive power. He's a guy that really can move down inside, and I think could be even more disruptive. So he's a really versatile player.
Lester, anytime your offense stalled, you could send Zane out there and just go ahead and mark it down. I know you have a talented kicker that you brought in, but there's an adjustment going from the best kicker in the country to a freshman.
Let me tell you, in 2 days, all I'll tell you is, wow, he's pretty good. I don't think he's missed a field goal, and he kicks them high and very deep. I think he's going to be a great weapon for us. We just have, a really good kicker, right? And, being able to kick the ball out of the end zone on kickoffs is huge. And then scoring points. And I'm not saying, I don't put too much on Brandon, but he's he's been impressive. He is a very, very talented young man. And I kind of like his demeanor, even like the other day. I said, you know what's interesting is that he kind of has the kind of, you know, it's like this is no big deal kind of mentality. I kind of like that. You know, Zane was like that. Like, you know, he's not, nothing was, it wasn't too big for him. So just from a raw talent standpoint, that's what having players like that do, is that you can attract guys like Brandon. And so I really think that obviously the poise and the maturity of a senior like Zane is hard to replace, but I was pleased. I was very pleased in the first couple of days. So we'll see how that goes, but I do think we've got an extremely talented young man. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.